Hey, folks! The Cloud Talk Show is over here. As you can see, we're missing one very important person, Uncle Larry, who's tied up with other things right now. So this will be a very extremely short show. You're probably or just watching some stuff on my screen. We'll take a look at it. Well, no, we're not going to look at Ralph's money today. Let's not talk about Bruno or Ralph's money for a little while over here. Next week we'll definitely continue on with the show. The week after, maybe not, because actually that's a spring break week. So expect that one also might cancel it, and we still have to get a guest in place. And just as well, today was not guest day. Let's see, just a couple of things over here to show. Just showing again little stuff in the cloud over here. LinkedIn. Does everyone have a LinkedIn? It almost seems like that's the de facto stuff for business right now. Is there something else? Is there something else we should be looking at besides LinkedIn for business kind of stuff? I think there's like the tools for getting jobs or for working on that stuff. But I think right now this is actually the only real business social networking. And I was just going through it. I haven't been here in a while. I started looking over because I know I have to update my profile and stuff. And yeah, my profile is pretty much public, so go ahead and take a look. And I see that they have over here like analytics to see who's been looking at you. And I think a lot of this stuff you actually have to turn on premium features to go down into the detail. Is it worth getting the premium features? Fortunately, I get some thanks to my MVP status. But if you are in your job search mode, I would recommend that you turn this on at least for a little while to get going and making the most out of all of these features that are in here. Um, yeah, so wow, I can really go to town. Yeah, I see a lot of updates that I need to do and put them in order. This is almost like a WordPressy type way of getting things done. There's the public URL they have. Well, mine seems to be okay. I like this one over here. Hey, this is how you would look working for these people. It's like what is it? You get your dressed up, and then they just put a shirt on you, and that's your outfit. That's actually pretty cool. So that's nothing very personal over there. So like an ad, now we can do things like add to badges. So when you click on one of these, let's see how it says share it in LinkedIn and everything else. That's Credly. So Credly, we'll probably cover Credly more detail. But Credly is an interesting place where if the organization you're with is on there, you get a badge, you get to share it. I get to download the image and everything else. What else out there? Well, good old GitHub's still alive and well, still having fun with that. I've been working on that lately on the community. Just a reminder that a lot of these things, when you're in GitHub, in the community, like the starter kit and all these other pieces over here, are public. You want to get recognition for helping folks. This is it. All right. Otherwise, just that's it for now. We don't want to get crazy. We're going to look forward to. Oh, hey, Mr. Lair, you showed
I
up.
know, I know, I'm late.
What
It's
happened? I
awful.
thought you were out. You were out for the week.
No, it was a client meeting that went long. It was our initial scrum of scrums,
Oh my
which
gosh.
we can talk about safe, right? Scaled agile
I- i-
framework and
Is
all of
it
those, but
safe? We can
it
say,
is
is
it
it safe?
yeah, it is
It,
safe.
it is
Um,
safe.
so we started out and we had
Old movie
50,
reference, by the way, folks.
we had 50 members in this scrum of scrums because it was the first one.
Oh,
And normally scrum calls are supposed to be short, fast, to the point,
tiny groups, not
tiny groups,
monster groups. Exactly.
right? But we needed to get representatives of all of the different teams involved so
Holy
that
smokes.
our next meeting is going to be a lot shorter, a lot faster, because the agenda is going to have the topics and the people who are responsible for those topics. And they have to show up during those time periods. Otherwise, everybody else is optional.
Oh
So we had
dear.
we had a lot of pigs and very few chickens today. If
Oink.
you know that's a different reference, by the way.
That's true. Oink.
Like,
So
yes,
I see that. So I haven't been in one of those in a while. Like in a lot of those cases, even in large groups, we're trying to avoid the so-called scrums for that very reason,
hmm
is they can get overwhelming. It's not anymore. It's called a scrum. It's just basically how do you call it, the so-called kickoff, where everyone comes in. And it's almost like when they're that big, it's almost like a live event,
right. So
practically.
what we ended up doing. See, we're so the project that I'm on. I'm the architect over two teams,
Mhm.
and those two teams are doing different pieces of this software, but they're interacting with at least 4 or 5 other teams within the company that we're
Sh-
contracting with. And
Sure.
so we need to coordinate, delivery, and we have requirements that force us to be dependent on data that's coming from these other teams, and
Right.
we need a clearinghouse where the leaders of the teams can get together and have their cage matches.
Uh,
Two teams enter, one team
right.
leaves. If you want to talk about Thunderdome, um,
That makes
it's
sense.
that's what we did today. So
Well,
again, for
that's what
everyone, I
happens when you're
apologize for
working
being
at
late.
scale. That's all right. But
Yeah.
that's what happens when you're working at scale. It does make sense. Like I said, I am working at scale right now with a lot of some of the stuff that I'm doing right now. Oops, pardon my camera move over there. But oddly enough, uh, oddly enough, it's controlling itself. It's almost like as you know, on the side, I have a very large firm that I'm working with right now,
Hmm.
in conjunction with Microsoft. So Microsoft works with the big boys and girls over here, and that one never had to look that big, mainly because someone came into the realization that when you have that many people in there, they're there to listen and not to participate. I think it's the same folks that said, "Hey, can we have a Teams that has 5,000 people in it, or 10,000, or let's break that limit?" And then it's like, okay, well, how about have like a discussion board or something else instead? Why do you need that? It's like, well, we want them to all interact. I said, can you imagine 5,000 people all in a live collaborative interaction all at the same time? Now, take a meeting room, expand it, put everyone in there, and then tell them they all have to work with each other
Right.
all at the same
Well,
time.
and
It's
and the big thing that we ran into, a lot of our time was kind of chunky and
chunky.
ill
Well, yeah.
used, because we ended up without, most of the people did not have their cameras on, which means they weren't fully engaged within the meeting,
Mm,
and we weren't able to anticipate by watching the other people whether they were getting and receiving the information, whether
hmm.
they were wanting to talk. There's a lot of cues that you get from having a camera on. So
Yep, that's
that's
true. Was it on Teams or was it on something
it was
else?
on Teams. No, no, it was on
Oh,
Teams.
because there are tools in Teams for that. You have your raise your hand button. I'm gonna
Yes, and
put that up over here. These
we
things.
do the raise. We did the raise your hands. We did all of that. What we did not have, though, was the level of interaction that we need for it to have worked as smoothly as it will probably next time or the third time after.
You just need actually. So this is the part where, like, just like we have Raquel helping us out for doing the pieces,
Yes.
you actually need staff for that.
Yes.
So remember, we kept saying that there will still be reasons to have the humans and the roles and everything else.
Hmm.
You're almost pointing out exactly the case for
Well,
the presenters can only have so much bandwidth or handwidth for that matter to do stuff, right?
and we actually have Sporthy, is our from QA. I don't know if you ever worked with her before you left
Yes, I
us.
remember Sporty. Yes.
Sporthy is running the is running the meeting and
Uh
is
huh.
keeping track of what's going on the side and taking notes. So it's um,
Well, so at least
from
you got that
QA
covered.
side, yeah, we at least have that part taken care of. But yeah, it's tough. So what did I miss? Anything good going on? Are
Other
we?
than we don't talk about Ralph's money or Bruno,
Uh,
that we didn't talk about it, but don't worry, we will one day when it comes back to
yeah.
100 where it was. I was just showing off like the LinkedIn tools a
Hmm.
little bit, some of the stuff, but it turns out when you get premium stuff, there are some bennies to premium, but I will say
Nice.
premium really, especially if you're job seeking. I think it's critical if you're job seeking. I've had a few people ask me, "Hey, we're looking for some work and all that stuff." It's like, "Oh, okay, all fine and well." So then I'm asking them, "Do you at least have the LinkedIn?" Because at the very least, it seems like it's now, how do I say it, table stakes to have a LinkedIn if you're
Yes.
job hunting. Period. I don't know of any other system that is similar that people are using to that ubiquity. Pretty much, it's LinkedIn at this point,
Right.
right? So for any, at least for like business as we know it, so you got to be on there.
Well, if especially if you're in the tech industries. I mean,
Yes.
that's one of the other things.
I'm
It's
seeing non-tech also essentially though
mhm.
now, especially just about everything when I go through it. And I did like a just before this, but I'm not going to show it because you might see other people's names on there. But I got to see what it looks like from another industry perspective, and
Mhm.
it's heavy in there too. And some of these folks really go to town
Nice.
for their profiles and all that stuff. You know, they go crazy. Oh, so someone was
Kudos.
was reminding us that we forgot to update our website. I think October is our last date. So like, don't worry, we'll get to it.
Oh,
You know what we should do?
my
We should
bad.
go. We should go at
I'll get
least
it
into
taken
the
care of.
site and put the YouTube link in there on the very top somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Say if you want to watch us live, always come here. Maybe subscribe, and that'll help you. Maybe put the subscribe button there too. Who knows? And then you can come and see the archive is linked from here.
I'll get it taken care of this weekend.
Yes.
My
So
bad.
someone hit me on LinkedIn and said, "Hey, are you guys still doing the show?" I said, "Yes." "Aren't you subscribed?" I said, well, actually, because I think they saw me on my again, LinkedIn. You
Right.
sometimes you don't
LinkedIn.
hear from people in a while, and all of a sudden they show up out of the blue. Hey, congratulations on your birthday, anniversary, this whatever, and they come in. It's like, so actually, that's pretty cool. I don't mind that. That's not better than saying maybe getting like do you still have Facebook thing? It's like, no, I don't have Facebook.
Right.
Sorry. But that actually is better. So just a thought to follow up on that. And as I said, just on general, the things that you can do with this. And I got another badge, by the way, community
Oh,
contributor. There it is. It's my badges because
cool.
we need those bleeping badges.
That's
Give me
right.
those badges.
We
Give me
don't
those
need it.
badges. So I got that, and this is actually Credly is the system over here. We'll look at that maybe
Mhm.
next time in a little bit more detail. But it's actually
Another cloudy,
another cloudy system that's actually
system.
useful for sharing your stuff. So this one was sort of like a little nichey for a little while, but now that folks like the Microsoft Teams and all that stuff are using it, if you get actually a certification in Microsoft, they use this to let
Yes.
you share your badge, or they could send you like their assets all in a bunch.
Right,
So
but it's verified if you're going through this third-party external system.
yes,
That's the
exactly. So
key.
now you have like just like it's a non-fungible token. This is the actual if you have it from here, the source can be trusted. And if you just put it in an image, no one's going to tell that image has a NFT behind it. No way, shape or form. But they will be able to tell from this where that goes. So
So
that was my other piece.
let me ask you on from my side, do you have an about me?
And about me. So that's
Yeah.
a new one. About me.
So here, I'll drop my
Let me
about me into our links here.
all right. Let me go to about me general over here.
Mhm.
Is it about .me or is it about
Me.
that's
Yep.
because there is a dot. I know that they have a .me for things. And there's about .me. Freelancers. Aha. This
There
is
you go.
key. Raquel, you may want to get this.
So
Get out. Freelancers. Yes.
about.me/Larry.Smithmier has about Larry, which I mean, I probably need to update it.
MEIR.
Mier. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I have to. Let me just get your link.
Yeah.
Stand by. So I don't keep I keep fat fingering the E on this keyboard. I'm actually using my a different laptop for this.
Oh, nice.
Go figure. There we go. Come on, click. There we go. Now it's working. Check it out.
There you go.
Nope. Oh yeah. It's just slow. So it's opening you twice because it's so nice.
So nice. You had to do
Check
it
it out.
twice.
So this is a straight up about me.
Yes. It's
All right.
just a small little about me. It has links to, website and social
Blog and
media
then
and
all the social media pieces that you have
right.
stuff on.
Mhm.
So this costs money then, or is it free?
It can be free.
Oh, so there's a free version and then there's a
There's a
monetized version.
paid, yes. So
Well, just
again,
like LinkedIn.
sort of like LinkedIn, you can choose your level
Of showing about
commitment.
that piece.
Yeah.
So this is almost like more like a business cardy type
Right. So the
type
idea is
app.
this is what you could put in your SIG, in the signature line of your emails
Mhm.
if you don't want to overload it, but you want to
Yes.
give people access to all of the information that you own.
Got it. All
So
right.
there.
Yep. So okay, that's excellent. That's actually a good one. So, well, we have some stuff that we were able to cover. We came in a little bit late, but we were actually able to cover some stuff. I did cover a little bit about here on GitHub, and I was showing that I am actually participating. So here's the we talked about the Center of Excellence kit at one
Mhm.
time. It was a new thing that came over here where you can have the ability to quarantine applications. So quarantining is a thing. Yes, it is. Imagine like we talk about DevOps and all that piece.
Right.
Now, if you're in the citizen dev world and you have the wild, wild west, or basically, truly in our case, West world, right? You're gonna get to let them have the shootout, right? But
Right.
hey, we can reset and start over and do it again the next day. That's
Mhm.
only possible when you have true. It's either DevOps is completely under control, or you have that real environment. So the concept with the Power Platform ALM is that people think that the Power Platform and any low-code environment is the case of the Wild West, the case of Microsoft Access for All, when in truly, yeah, that is the case if you just put it out there and let it go.
Right. But it
Everyone's
doesn't
got
have to be the
doesn't
case,
have to be.
and it
All
shouldn't
of
be.
these things
Yeah.
have governance tools, should you choose to apply them. And when you apply them, you essentially allow you can have that much control. We have actually there are blogs out there in the public talking about large companies that maybe have all these financial regulations, everything else. You would never expect them to ever even have citizen developers, so-called folks like that, under any circumstance would they have them. The fact that they exist at that scale
Right.
is maybe not so much scary, but maybe something that you should learn about. It's like, hold on a second. If you can control that scale with that many people, and then essentially you create your ROI because everyone's creating apps, you've
Mhm.
essentially
Well,
empowered people to help you.
and
Hey,
it's a
something you think. Yeah.
new-ish environment, and so it's more open by default than it
Yes,
probably will be, in 2 years' time or in 3 years' time,
indeed.
once it becomes more known. But you can crank down the security as tight as you need to in order to have it work within your environment.
Exactly. The problem is like a lot
Nice.
of folks there, it's like it's either completely open or they lock it down to death and
Right.
they kill the functionality, they kill adoption, and where they kill the will to live in some cases. Like, well, what's the point of all this stuff? Why can't we have nice things, right? It's
Yep.
that question. It's like you gave me the M365 and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, then I saw this Power Apps thing or I read about it, and like I can't use it. Why? Because we don't trust you to use it. Well,
Hmm.
I'm gonna say that, well, it's not that they don't trust you to use it, they don't know how yet. They don't understand the tools it takes to control you. Once they figured it out, they might open it up a little bit. This is the whole point. It's like I just bought a car, and
Yeah.
not the car. I built a pool outside, right? And
Yes.
if there's small kids in the house, what do? You never let them outside until you build a fence around it.
Right.
Because they might go outside or teach them to swim or do all that stuff. And then, okay, we can now open it up. At some point, the kids are growing up and all that stuff. We can take the fence out.
Right.
Maybe we can take all that stuff. You can now play because now you understand how to control yourself and do all these other pieces. So that's what it is. The case of the quarantining an app is even is sitting, because if this was DevOps, there's no need for this. If you're
Right.
in DevOps, you will only have out there the stuff that needs to be out there. There's no point putting something out there and it's not to be used, right? It's like, hey,
Right.
we're deploying this app, but you can't use it. Well, why the heck did you deploy it?
Well, right, because and you have a pipeline that's built out that
Right.
so that you know that it's under source control, but you can put apps out in some of these environments if you don't tighten them down. Anyone can put an app out there,
Exactly.
and
So
this
with
is
with
just
the
a way to
quarantining system that they've added to this one is actually really cool. We got to give Miss Smith a picture and
call
talk
out to.
to their team. We're going to call out to the COE team over here, and I'm just gonna, yeah, this is the link over here. I'm going to paste it onto the chat. Maybe Raquel will paste it onto the comments and stuff. But here's like it's basically the GitHub item over here, which points to the source of all this fun, or all this great stuff. The idea again, and here it's talk about the governance solution. You get an app, it goes out there, it goes into quarantine until it's been released, right? So
Right.
here's a traveler comes in, and there could be so many travelers, thousands of them. they'll go through quarantine, and when they're done with quarantine, because whatever we
They're
do in
free
the
to
back
go.
end quarantine, they're free to
Right.
go. Right. So in this particular case, it's a straightforward. Someone's looks at them. Hey, are you still sick? Check the temperature. Okay, he's fine. Let him through. Or maybe they give them a shot. Right. And they're like,
Right.
okay, 2 weeks. See, is he dead yet? No. Okay, let him through.
Well, yeah,
All
and
right.
the shot is sort of like a security scanner, right? Because a lot of the
Indeed.
security scanners are coming up to speed and allowing you to do scans on these low code solutions. Because underneath the
Yes.
covers, we all know that there's code. I mean, right? Everybody's aware of that.
Yes.
There is code there. It's just not that you have to write all of it.
This was
Okay.
a little tricky for them, by the way, to create because originally they created the PowerShell first. Usually, the
Hmm.
PowerShell is very specific and things how to work. And all of a sudden, when you start to create a package on top of the automation, then how the PowerShell is used or how people have used it could be affected by the fact that you made another system that essentially has its own opinion on how to make it work.
Right.
So kudos to the fact that they were able to, like so far, knock on wood, figure that magic combo to make it work.
Yeah. Okay. And I didn't want to bring it back through. The good thing about doing the show the way that we're doing it, I can always go back, and I will go back and watch the first part of the recording. So,
Oh, there you go.
um,
That's right. And
and
then you can time
people,
travel.
we've been doing a lot of these, over the well, past little while anyway.
Yes, we
So we
had
do have
more.
a big backlog. Some of them are not going to be relevant anymore, but they're always fun. I hope that you're enjoying the show and watching it
Yes,
with joy in your heart.
all learning for the folks. So I promoted. We had like new employees come in and that are into our cloud practice because I do belong to the cloud practice in the end of the day. So
Hmm.
all this stuff that I'm doing is again part of that, and well, that's why I've been doing this cloud stuff. So that's how I'm here. So we got probably some folks that came and visited for the first time and looking in. Here's the thing: for if you're here and some of you that came right out of that particular program and are actually new to the cloud. You have all your smarts, you got your masters, you got everything else, but the actual tech using them, this is your first time. This is very interesting. Go back to our early shows when we actually cover some of these core aspects. Just watch
Right.
them. They actually might still apply
Right.
because actually seeing how something came about or how it looked like a few years ago gives a really good perspective. I just looked at some of our old stuff. I'm like, hey, we talked about PAS, SAS, and all that stuff. And right now, those are so ingrained that we don't really talk about them too much. It turns out that those are core concepts that folks really need to go back and learn
Right. Platform
and
as a
understand.
service, software as a service, infrastructure as a
Infrastructure as a
service.
service,
Yeah,
because a
we
lot of
talked through
those
all those.
a lot of those key terms are things that reference what we discuss. And like I said, we're so far into it sometimes, and we forget that some folks need to have those definitions again, or they have to look back. They're like, I'm coming in not necessarily as a tech, or I came in as a tech. I said, wait a minute, hold on a second. How does that apply to infrastructure as a service? You're breaking away from there. You're not doing it the way I read about it. And then what's this Fine Nine that you mentioned over here? By the way, I did promote the Fine Nine and the Crazy 12. So
Grazie.
the thing is, you have to go back to our old shows to go see those.
Yes.
So, and don't
And
worry, you can play us up fast forward and
and
read them.
yeah, I talk slowly. It's okay. You could speed me up. It's fine. But also give us feedback. We're here for
Yes,
you. We enjoy it. We're having fun. But
indeed.
anybody that has questions, or if you have a topic that's burning a hole in your heart that you need to share with somebody else, um,
Hey, we might
also
even get you on the show if you
we can
have
get you
that
on the
topic.
show, and yeah, you can do a demo. You can have a platform. So
Or you can try to break something on the show. That's actually cool. Say, hey, remember this site? Watch me break it. We're actually looking for one of those, and that'll probably be for the what is it? If we ever come up with a Friday, because we do this on Friday,
right.
right? So you know that at some point there will be a Friday the 13th
Yes.
show of some sort. So we should plan for that. Well, we'll look in the calendar and see when the next Friday 13th it's going to be on our level. We may not. Hopefully Raquel will still be able to show up on that day.
May
She might have reservations.
May 13th.
May 13th. Okay, there we
Yep.
go.
May 13th,
So that's
that show will
guess
be.
what? So that's coming right up. That's the Friday the 13th show. We
Yes,
need
sir.
to break something, or we need things that break or fall apart or whatever.
Or talk. Well,
We'll have a
there'll be
theme,
there'll be something that broke during the previous week in the cloud. We can talk through why it broke
and we'll
and
talk through
how to
that,
keep it from
and
doing
maybe
it.
how to fix it. That's true. We'll bring
Yeah.
it back to life. Who knows?
All right. So
I think
we're at time. We
we're
should
at
go.
time for our time because we have to prepare for our next engagements.
Yes, sir.
So we shall let things go. Well, at least we got a show this week. How about it?
Good job.
We got. Thank you, Raquel. You can
Take us out.
take us out, and we'll be good.